Men on a Mission, a story as old as time and as tired as fuck. Black Ops films are a niche within a niche that prey upon the paranoia and mistrust we associate with our governments, as well as that very human desire to see life as just one linear objective, moving on to the next. Here are 3 films you never heard of. Vet leads his team of disbanded mercenaries into the treacherous Gallows Wood on one last mission to recapture the elusive Professor Black. What was meant to be a simple extraction mission soon becomes a terrifying journey into madness. Originally titled as Slaughter is the Best Medicine, SAS Black Ops apparently reached final cut by 2012 and was dropped by a US-based distributor due to Sandy Hook. It was picked up by another bunch of white boys who then packaged the film like a documentary about the SAS, and was released to the confusion of many. The film was shot over a bunch of weekends for the smallest of budgets, and of course it shows. Knowing now, after the fact, that this film is within the home movie bracket of independent genre filmmaking, I feel slightly less the need to be critical. However though, it still had a DVD release, sitting amongst all the big boys like Expendables 3. So I guess someone has to pay. SAS Black Ops is really cheap and really slow and really dull. The cast was probably all friends, as most of them have Slaughter as their sole IMDb credit, and so of course you're going to get some blood lake like natural chemistry between them. However, once in a while the script calls for drama, and that ain't happening at all. What also isn't happening is any entertaining action scenes. Too professional to be chintzy, too cheap to be taken seriously, and for an action film, that can really ruin your day. What overall makes up the experience of watching Slaughter is feeling the sense of passion that evidently went into the production, and the coinciding discomfort watching what was produced. You can't fault them for not trying, but you can fault them for making a shit film. The synopsis online for this film is shit, so I'm not going to even bother. Vigilante Diaries sells itself as the best of every male 25 demographic film you saw in the multiplex last decade, and the results are muddled, and that is being kind. The closest opposite number to Vigilante Diaries is of course Smoking Aces, with its very 2000s approach to screenwriting, blending archetypes and stereotypes seamlessly in an attempt to create plug-in-and-play characters needing as little maintenance as possible from its cast. Obnoxious would be an adjective, so would be rectangular and vegetastic. I take the piss, but that's because I don't know if the film itself is doing likewise to me. This kind of graphic novel filmmaking is hard to sum up in a few words, and that's why I hate to review them, because since the pace and narrative is so irregular, it's easy to lose track of where we are and why we should care, the latter being difficult enough with the cast either being devoid of charm or sleepwalking their way to a paycheck. From what I could gather, Vigilante Diaries is the worst film for me, a Tarantino-light shitfest that has given no reason for the audience to care. The film has put its money where its mouth is, and the production values are impressive. Shooting over 3 continents, a direct-to-DVD star-studded cast, and even some decent action sequences. But the story is simply not there. The characters are all try-hard 90s throwbacks with little depth and lesser sexy appeal. Combine this with a bloated running time due to some terrible comedy vignettes, and Vigilante Diaries truly becomes a slog to get through. Personally, this style of a substance bollocks really grates on me, but that is not a negative on the film's part, however. It's good that a film on the level of Vigilante Diaries is trying to be ambitious, but for some reason the writing really fucked me off. It combined all the elements I hate about genre filmmaking, the cliches, the arbitrary meta, the non-linear narrative. I just zoned out. Fuck this movie. When a Black Ops team is sent to investigate the crash of an unidentified aircraft, they soon find themselves being hunted by the former occupants. In the rare occasion where a cash-in actually surpasses its source material, The Asylum's Alien Predator is a terrific mockbuster, aping Shane Black's 2018 reboot and arguably managing to become the better film. What the film lacks in budget, which it severely lacks, it makes up for in narrative pace and character development. The screenplay is how you do it for a direct-to-DVD action film. The characters are not unique or that complex, but they serve their most important purpose in that they sell greatly the danger of the scenario they have found themselves in. Intrigue, suspicion, and anxiety builds up at a pace which is near perfect for a 90-minute feature, and therefore the story never feels like it's stopping, and therefore I kept on engaging. On top of the fact that this film achieves the bare minimum, which is not something I can say for all direct-to-DVD action shite I've reviewed, the design of the aliens is charmingly Italian in the way that it homages the OG Predator design. It's exactly how you would expect an Asylum production to portray the Predator, and as long as there is a decent story surrounding all that carny bollocks, I am very much a happy boy. Alien Predator is a great watch as a one and done. Maybe on more viewings the flat acting and plot contrivances would become annoying, but since the film moves so fast, as it is structured so well, I can't help but like it. It may be cheap, it might be due a cease and desist from Fox, but there is no doubt in my mind that Alien Predator is the best of the several Asylum films I have come across, right up there with Sherlock Holmes. It is a neat little B-movie that I feel good recommending to y'all. So let's sum up. SAS Black Ops is good-natured fun amongst filmmaking friends, but for the rest of us, it's cheap and boring. Vigilante Diaries is trying harder than most in its field, but it's unbearably smug as it does so. Alien Predator is a cute little rip-off that is sharply paced, well shot, and has its payoffs in all the right places. It was the government. Just having some fun. It was the government. Just blowing up Iran. It was the government. We have reason to believe, it was the government, that our presence in Africa is totally justified. It was the government. Government. Boko Haram. 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 Boko Haram.